What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Six Figure Morning Show. We give you the best advice in business and life. Thank you guys for all the likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. You already know. I really do appreciate it, man. Thank you guys. Running a little late today. I ain't bitching. I ain't complaining, but two jobs is just kicking my ass. I'm spread thin, stretched thin, however you want to look at it, man. I'm all over the place. I'm trying to maintain, get my schedule down. It's a little rough right now, but I enjoy it, guys. I do. I enjoy the hustle right now. I got four streams of income. I can't complain, but I mean, you're going to have to get out here and grind for it. You're going to have to work for it. It just is what it is. The more you want, the more you have to do. Right now, I'm trying to save more than I spend. I'm making sure that I'm cash heavy. I'm making sure that I don't lose what I've already built and created for myself. So, guys, if you think this can't be done, I'll let you know right now. So, right now, I'm looking at a 7 to 3 schedule, and then I'm pretty much looking at a 5 to midnight type of schedule, somewhere in there. That's usually where I'm at. Uh, and I'm come home, do my shit, shower, shave, go to bed, get 5 6 hours sleep if I can, up to do it again. Luckily, my son's older; he can handle things. Whenever I do have some downtime, I go ahead and I meal prep, get some chicken together, some whatever I got. I cook the basics, get the base of the meal down and out of the way, and and then I try to throw in a YouTube video here and there when I can. So, hopefully I can get this, because I just started both these. So hopefully I can get this schedule down and kind of tighten up my shot group a little bit better. But anyways, without further ado, I was sitting back and I saw my man Daniel over here. Now, his channel, It's a Wealthy Life. You guys can go find that right here. It's a Wealthy Life. It's a Wealthy Life. Daniel was one of the first people that, God, he was one of my first subscribers, but he was one of the first people that ever commented. I'll put it like this. He made a comment and he said, man, this dude's dropping gems. This channel is going to blow up. This was a year ago when I was doing heavy financial advice and life advice, how to really get to a six-figure lifestyle, that it's not as hard as people think it is. But a lot of people think, let me pull Daniel off here for a second, but a lot of people think that to get to that six-figure lifestyle, you got to have these big fancy degrees and this and that, when really you can just manage your time wisely and go at it. You can literally say goodbye to the friends, the family, the clubs, the bars. You can quit doing all the stupid stuff and just go at it. Hey, you know what? 7 to 3, I'm working this job, whatever. 5 to 11, I'm working this job. However you got to do it. You're working on your business on the side, whatever it is. You're writing your book, whatever it is. It's just you saying goodbye and not entertaining nonsense in your life anymore, just to get to 100,000. That's really it. That's really it. This dude right here, I'm not going to put his business out there, but he lives a nice life. Do you think he hangs around stupid people and does stupid stuff? He's not going out excessively drinking on the weekends. He's legit. Guys, just because that he does not blowed up all over the internet and driving Lambos and Ferraris, the man's got vacation homes. He lives a nice, comfortable life with his family. He's not out doing stupid stuff. I would say that this guy's pulling 12, 15-hour days, and then he hangs out with his kids. And the only real downtime he has is when he puts in for a vacation. I would say that he's working at 12-hour days, and then the rest is family time. He's not out here doing stupid stuff. He's not freaking, rolling blunts and drinking beers and hanging out at the barbecues by the pool and trying to impress the girl. He's not doing that stuff. And that's what it is. And that's what a six-figure life is like. But anyways, let's get into his video. I'm eager to see what he's got to say. And before we go, I just want to say that he's been dropping some gems. So Daniel, I'm sure you'll watch this. I do watch your stuff. He's been dropping some gems here lately. And I'm sure this will be a good one too. This video is titled, "The Job You Apply For is the One That Traps You." The job you apply for is the one that traps you. Yep, the job you full screen. Let's get it.
You would think that in our careers, we'd have the mobility to move onwards and upwards and get that promotion. But the reality is far from that. Let's get into it.
And he's came a long way. He's came a long way with creating his channel. He's really putting in the work and the effort on the channel. And I've been watching it. I've been seeing it, and I'm proud of him. I like it. So I definitely wanted to shout him out, man. He deserves it. So you guys make sure you go over there. That's his channel. It's a wealthy life, family, career, financial. You guys make sure you go over there and check him out because he drops some gems, some legit good information on there.
Now, over the last 25 years that I've been working in corporate America, I always thought that maybe I'd be able to move up in each and every company I've worked for. But to be honest with you, that has not been the case. Okay, I've been an eager, young professional my entire career. And every job I get into, I've been eager to move up, working hard at the company, working hard at the job, doing more than what most other people are doing at the company. And so guess what? Almost every single time I've had to just leave the company. Maybe it's 2 years, maybe it's 4 years, whatever it is. I honestly believe that the job you apply for and the job you get hired in for is the job you're going to get stuck with at the end of the day. Now, I don't want to make it sound like, you can't get a promotion. You probably can. It probably just depends on the companies you work for. But I have not been that fortunate. And I've worked for big companies, mid-sized companies, and small companies.
Hey, he's not lying. I've definitely worked for some big companies, like you said, big companies, mid companies, small companies. And the job you hire in at is usually where you're stuck at. And they don't want to promote you. When people get to those high paying jobs, 85 grand a year roughly, they start getting in that ballpark right there. They don't want to leave. Somewhere in there, 75, 85 grand a year, those people do not want to leave. They get in there, they get stuck in there, they will not leave. So next thing you know, you got this guy, like my last company, when I did that, I'm quitting my job for YouTube video. That guy had been with that company for 40 years, making 85 grand a year. He'd literally been there he started with them when he was 22. When I left, he was 63. 40 years he'd been with that company, got to that position. He'd probably been in that position for 25 or 30 of the 40 years. He would not leave. He would not get out of it. He didn't plan to retire. He's going to be there till he dies. And but like you said, when you hire in at these jobs, you hire in at your position, that's where they keep you at. And I'm right there with him. I've had to leave as well just to be able to move forward in my own personal life to get to where I'm trying to go.
And I just was not patient enough to wait 10 years to get a promotion.
No shit.
So I simply made those promotions myself. I simply left the company after 2 to 4 years.
I love how you said that. I made those promotions myself. I left the company after 2 to 4 years. Back when I told you guys, you got to become the CEO of your own life. You have to become the CEO of your own life. America is a business and you have to start conducting your life like one. You got to become the CEO of your own life. You got to keep your resume updated. You got to keep your freaking overhead low, your finances. You need to have no negative debt. Pay off your debts. That way, hey, you know what? I got, man, everything we talk about. I love this video already. Everything we talk about on this channel. Stay out of debt. Stack some cash, have your emergency fund in place, have some proper investments if you're able to make them. Man, keep your resume updated, apply for jobs. Even if you have a job, you need to be applying for jobs. I get job offers all the time because my resume is out there in the universe. It is floating around internet land right now. I get job offers all the time. Had one last night, but I'm already making what they offered me. So it's like there's no point in me leaving. Because I'm in a position to where I have no problem telling them that, yeah, I require whatever, $35 an hour, because I'm in a position to where I can sit here and negotiate my salary and I don't have to feel bad or, basically I don't operate out of desperation. I don't, because I put myself in a financial position, emergency fund, credit, no debt, things like that, to where I don't have to operate out of desperation and I can continue to move forward. Let me go ahead and let you guys watch the video. I'll shut up.
Okay. And unfortunately, my parents never worked for, a big corporation or a small corporation. They worked for mostly mom and pop type of shops where there was no room for upward mobility. My parents were more blue collar, working class parents, so they may have not have had that opportunity. So they were never able to teach me that you do have to have patience in this game if you do want to move up in corporate America, or that you have to move tons of jobs to move up. Now, fortunately, my dad, he always said the more moves you make, the more money you make. But I think he said it from a factor of or he said it from a point of reference of, sometimes you would get small raises like 2 or 3,000 for the same job moving laterally. And that happens as well. But for me, most of my work, every job I moved up, I got around a $5,000 to $10,000 raise, and it was upward mobility. I never moved laterally. Okay, I'm always moved upward, always had a better job lined up for that next position. So, when you first get into corporate America, if you've graduated with maybe, let's say, a college degree, or even not even a college degree, if you've got a white collar job, don't expect to move up right away. All right, it might take you 4, 5, maybe 10 years to get that next promotion, to be honest. And if you're not willing to wait that long, you might need to move on, start applying to different jobs, do some networking in your field, maybe, go to some trade shows, whatever it may be. That's what you might have to do to get that upwards mobility and to get career advancement. Okay.
For me, I was always got a fly in here. For me, I was always willing to relocate. I think that's always been able to help me. I'm not scared to relocate and move. I'm like him. Every 2 to 4 years, if I don't see any advancement, the most that one company has ever moved me up was about one step up the ladder. To go from, say, your worker to your first line supervisor type position. You go from making $40,000 a year to, oh, they give you a promotion, now I'm making 50. Kind of thing. But as far as like getting into operations management and things like that, talent and acquisition, things like that, and really start trying to climb that corporate ladder, no, you have to. I've always had to move. I've always had to switch companies. If I wanted to go from being, just your typical worker, to a first line supervisor, a team leader of some sort, into operations, I got to move. Every 2 to 4 years, like he said, that's about how I look at it. If I don't see any growth or potential, now I'll stay at the same position, but can I get a decent pay raise out of it? Okay, yeah, you want me to stay here? Great. This is where you hired me in at. Okay, great. You hired me in at $25 an hour. Cool. But in 2 years, I need to be at, 27, 28. I need, however you want to look at it, I need to start seeing some growth, either in title and pay, or I just need to see decent pay raises to keep me there. If that's not the case, then I need to move on. Because you can go from being a worker at Amazon, you can go from being a factory worker at Amazon slinging boxes to sitting down and then taking over. I don't know, guys. I don't work at those fields, but I mean, you go from being a factory worker, they don't have any positions for you to move up. So now it's, hey, let me go to another warehouse. Now I'm a warehouse manager because I decided to relocate 2 hours away from where I was at or whatever. You just got to be looking for these opportunities because they are out there.
Now, I've never been promoted. I've been at this company now for 10 years. I'm a senior software engineer. And I don't count on getting promoted by any means. I don't understand it. Sometimes business people, they don't know how to hold on to good people. That's the way it goes.
Good
okay,
Lord, he's not lying. They don't know how to hold on to good people. Matter of fact, speaking of Amazon, they're one of their business models. I don't know if they still do it, but in the early days of Amazon, when it really took off, they were just to let people go. They were literally to just bring people in, work the shit out of them for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and then cut them loose and start over again. So I remember it being a big thing in the paper. If you had like 5 or 6 years at Amazon, they were just firing those people and bringing in new. They were cycling them in and out, starting over.
Sometimes they don't even care. Honestly, they're working as a middle manager, and they don't care. They'll just hire somebody else off the street to maintain their crappy product. Because we don't all work for, big tech, advanced firms that have that upward mobility and who actually understand talent. A lot of us work for these mom and pop shops, small businesses that don't have no clue about good talent. And that's the way you got to look at things, is that you're going to have to sell yourself to new companies over and over and over.
He's not lying.
And sometimes they recognize that in a new company. They see, oh, this guy's motivated. He's talented. He's motivated. He's got drive. He's got ambition. And a lot of times the people you work with, they don't recognize that. Mm-hmm. So I never had anyone to tell me this. So I'm going to tell you guys out there, if you've never worked for corporate America, you got to either be patient or you're going to have to move on to a new company. That's the reality. The more moves you make, the more money you make. And unfortunately, that is just the way of the world. I don't
He's not lying.
Understand why. I mean, why can't people really understand the talent you have? It's hard to say. However, a lot of times they can't open up a new position for you. Moving up in the company, there might not be new positions. So that's something you want to look out for too, especially in the interviewing process. If you have ambitions in life, and let's say you want to be the CTO, the Chief Technology Officer, well, you need to ask them, what's that career path to get to that point? Do you have that middle manager to get you to the CTO level? How many levels do you have to go through? What's the type of education? I haven't had a chance to do that very often. I've worked for smaller companies my last 15 years. They've been well paid. I'm very well paid at the company I'm at right now.
But he's not lying. I keep trying to pause it, and every time I pause it, it gives him a horrible face, and I'm not trying to do him like that. I keep trying to freaking pause it, and then it's like one eye open or some shit, So I'm trying to make sure that he doesn't look crazy on screen, because I actually like him. He's a good guy, and he's got a wholesome life, and I love that. But no, he's not lying. And when I go to these interviews, I ask him, what's the growth potential? Listen, guys, when you stop operating, because some of you guys are out there just accepting whatever. Oh, we'll give you $12.50 an hour. And you're like, okay, when you could have negotiated for 18. I've been there. Or they'll say, hey, we'll give you $20 an hour when you could have negotiated for 25, and they would have taken it. These freaking hiring managers, talent and acquisition, their obligation is to the company, not to you. It's not to you. The HR, all these people, their obligation is to the company. So when you could have negotiated, an $80,000 salary, but you settled for 55, and you could have said, no, I require 75. You could have said that. But the problem is you, man or woman, it is you. You operate out of desperation. So when they said, oh, we'll give you 50, your eyes lit up like, I'll take it. When you could have just said, no, I need 65. And they would be like, okay, we can do it. That's literally how that works, and it does happen. But when you don't operate out of desperation, you can negotiate, because I don't go in somewhere and I don't feel like I have to accept this job. No, you either meet me where I'm at or don't meet me at all. I had an interview last night on the phone. I probably won't take the position, but I was able to tell them, hey, look, I have a lot of offers. It was with electric and gas, the stuff I used to do. I said, I do have a lot of offers. I put my resume out there, and I've been getting calls left and right. And the man said, well, look, I understand you got a lot of offers. Let me go talk to basically his boss, and I'll get back with you later today. If they don't call me, it's cool. There's no sweat off my back. Like I said, I got 4 streams of income coming in right now. I'm not operating out of desperation. I probably won't take the position, honestly, because I don't think they're going to meet my requirements, but that's fine. And I would like each and every one of you guys to get there as well, because once you become the CEO of your own life, you start handling your business, you get the debts paid down, you got the emergency fund in place, you're already making 50 grand a year or whatever it is, and you're able to stack a little bit of cash, and you just feel good and comfortable. The car is paid for, house is full of food, the rent's paid for, everything's going good. You can start seeking better employment, and you can turn them down. Because you're like, hey, I already got a job. I'm making 50 grand. Everything's paid for. Let me go see what's out here. They're not offering me what I want. I need to be at 75 or 80 now. They're not offering that. I can skip this, skip that. And you're able, you got a little leeway. You're able to pick and choose. So Daniels, he's spot on, man. Every 2 to 4 years, you got to be willing to move around and negotiate a higher salary for yourself, because they're not going to do it. These companies will pay you the bare minimum and they will keep you there. You got to see these videos, and I'm not making fun of these people, but they've been at Burger King for 20 years and Burger King gives them nothing. Or they've been at AutoZone or somewhere for 30 years and they get a freaking cake, or they get a gift card to Texas. Work 20 years of somebody's life, you give them a gift card. You know, come on, man. You got to start negotiating these guys. He's on it. He's freaking on it.
I have these golden handcuffs, to be honest. I don't really feel like moving. But if it comes to that, I might consider doing that. And this YouTube thing might be sort of that stepping stone I need to make to present myself in a way that sells me as a bigger type of leader in a company. So for a lot of software engineers like myself, you know, a lot of business people, they look at us like we're just tech geeks that like to just sit behind the computer and code all day. But
not
for
anymore.
some of us like myself,
let me stop you right there, man. Not anymore. You know, if you're somewhere and that business leader thinks you're a tech geek, that all you want to do, man, I'd rather have you than janitor. You know what I mean? Like, I'll go mop my own damn floors. Give me a Daniel. I'll go mop my own floors. Give me one of him. Let me have a tech geek. You know, let me have somebody to take over this tech side, and then let me run with everything that I do. Let me go run my mouth while you do all this, man, because this is what kills me.
if I like to move up, I'm more into the business side of things. And yeah, who knows, you know, where things will go. But that's where I'm at with things. I'm just like, you know, the loyalty is just gone today because companies aren't loyal anymore. They don't value talent
At all.
You know, I don't understand it, but it's their loss at the end of the day. But hopefully you guys can find a company that actually values talent, but be prepared. It might take 5 to 10 years. So be patient. That's the message to this video, is to be patient at the end of the day. I was too impatient, to be honest. I didn't move around a lot, but I always felt that bug underneath me that I had to move on, you know? And it has benefited me, but I think in some ways, like, maybe I could have been making more if I would have maybe stuck it out at a few places. Maybe I could have been at that CTO level if I would have stuck at Pfizer. You know, who knows? I was too impatient. I was in my 20s and I wanted to make more money and I wanted to move up. I thought I was better than everyone else, which I kind of was in a sense. I was way ahead of most people when it came to coding.
Hey, sometimes you just know when you're better than the people around you. And he's like, I kind of was. Like, sometimes you just know, and I'm sure he was. I've watched some of his other videos. I'm sure he was. And I think that's what drew him to my channel in the early days, is because he knew that I was operating on my own pure energy and motivation. He knew that I was just running and gunning and really getting after it, because that's the way that I saw the world. I still see it that way, but I've toned it down a lot. Then, you know, my older videos are a lot different than what I do now. I've toned it down a lot, but, you know, he probably was better than everybody around him. So you could see the writing on the wall. You know, when everybody around you's fat and you're in shape, or everybody around you's, you know, hungover and you're sober, everybody around you sleeping in and you're up early, the writing's on the wall. You can see it. So he probably was better than everybody around him. I'm sure of it.
At the time, but it is what it is. You know, you got to figure things out. It is going to be tough, but just remember, be patient and strategize. Ask questions. Ask a lot of questions in the company. Find out what those next positions are and do the research, especially if you work for a bigger company. I remember when I worked at Pfizer, there was tons of jobs, like all scattered all over the company. And if you have mobility too, that's another thing to consider, is if you have mobility, it might be a little bit easier to get those promotions. So consider that as well. I was married early, and you know, I was kind of locked down as far as like that, you know, perspective. I wasn't going to move. My wife's family was here, so I was limited from that perspective. Now I don't regret that by any means. I made the moves I made, and they were good moves, and I made good money now. But you know, take all those things in consideration. Hopefully, this will help you guys. If you're young, you know, be patient, strategize, and look for opportunities, because they're out there. You guys will move up. Everyone does eventually, as long as you keep working hard and hustle. So that's what you got to do. Learn as much as you can in those positions that you're in. If you feel stuck, learn as much as you can. And if you hit a wall where you're not learning anything, you're bored, that's when you know, okay, it's either time to get promoted or time to move on. Put in your 2 weeks or have another job lined up before you put in your 2 weeks, okay? Make sure you have another job lined up that's, bigger and better than where you're at, and then put in your 2 weeks. So anyways, hopefully you guys like this type of content. And let me know in the comments below if you've had the same experience. Have you had success getting promoted in a company? I just haven't. Okay, I've been unfortunate from that perspective, but I've had success moving on every 2 to 5 years. Now I've been in the company for 10 years, so maybe it's around that time where I need to start looking at elsewhere. Who knows? We'll see. I'd like to apply for maybe some VP positions, but we'll see what happens. I don't know if I have that charisma. I know I have the leadership skills. I'm not afraid of that. But it's hard to say, what companies are looking for. But anyways, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. And if you guys could, like and subscribe to the content, to the channel. And take a look at my previous video if you could. And everyone, have a great night. Thanks. Bye.
So,
hey guys.
let me stop it right
This
here
week,
real quick.
I was fired.
So, that what he's talking about is paying attention to the positions above you. That I made a video like this a long time ago, and it's definitely so. Where I come from, you have your locator, you have your worker, then you have your area manager, then you have your field supervisor, then you have your operations manager, and that's the way it works in electric and gas, the water department, things like that. You have your workers, you have like your team leaders. The guys of those in that, and the same way pretty much in the warehouse industry, you have your worker, you have your shift leader or team leader, probably a team leader, then a shift leader, and then a floor supervisor, and then so on and so on. It keeps climbing until you get to the warehouse manager. You need to be paying attention to, if you're just your average Joe working right now, $18 an hour, then you need to be paying attention to what does your freaking team leader do? Learn his job. What does a shift leader do? Learn their job. What is that floor manager doing? What's that warehouse manager doing? Learn the job above you. And if your company has no promotion for you, and you've been working there 2 years and you've learned the job of the man above you, or hell, even 2 men above you, and you've learned that job, and you feel comfortable and confident enough in your abilities to be able to carry out that job, time to go. If that company has no promotion potential for you, time to cut them loose, time to say goodbye and move on. Like he said, put in your 2 weeks, start applying for jobs, throw your resume out there, get another job lined up, put your 2 weeks in, and move forward. These companies aren't going to promote you. They don't care about your family to feed. They talk a good game. Pizza parties and organizational days, and they talk a good game. But when you're at that grocery store checkout, when you're paying the rent, the lights, the water, the gas, that company is not there with you. You have to take your life into your own hands. You have to become the CEO of your own life. That's the only way to move forward. It's the only way that's worked for me. I'm like him. I've never had much luck in being promoted within a company. Never. I've always had to go ahead and quit and move on to somewhere else. And that's just the way it's always been for me. But I've always, like I said, I put everything in place for me to be able to do that. I keep my debts low, my expenses low. I save more than I spend. I got my emergency fund in place. I even got some gold and silver tucked away, ammo. I got everything. Food storage. Like, I got all that stuff. You guys have been on the channel long enough. I got all that stuff tucked away. So I'm in a proper position to where it's like, hey, this company's not going to promote me. They're not going to pay me anymore. It's time for me to go. Throw my resume out there. My resume's out there right now. You guys, even if you have a job, you should always be applying for better jobs. I don't care. I don't care how long you've been at your company. I don't care how happy you are with your coworkers. Let's go. Time to move on. Let's make some more money. That's what it's all about. Taking care of our family, right? That's what it's all about. Anyways, I got to get ready to go, man. I just wanted to drop this video. I wanted to shout out Daniel. It's a Wealthy Life. I'll leave the link for his channel over there. You guys go check him out. He's got some great stuff on there. He has some really great, heartfelt, deep conversations. I do enjoy them. Sometimes I'll just turn him on while I'm driving to work or somewhere and just listen to what he's got going on and get on about my day. But other than that, man, you guys leave it in the comments below. Let me know. Have a great freaking day. All right. Take care.